We now go into CoastTV News Midday. In our top story, we're tracking candidates for the expected special election in Delaware State House District 20. Ruby Keeler Schaefer has officially filed as a Democratic candidate for 2026. She's indicating her intent to run this year for the seat vacated after Stell Parker Selby's resignation. Schaefer lives in Lewis and owns a small business. She began her public service career with the Department of State Planning and later worked with the Division of Soil and Water at DENREC.
Representation is very important for the district. There are many issues to be addressed. There are many problems to search for solutions, and I am the candidate that will work very hard to do that.
And officials tell CoastTV News that a special election for District 20 is set to take place this summer. However, the writ of election for that still has yet to be filed. And important to note here that Republican Nikki Miller has filed to run as the Republican contender. This is for the 2026 election, but Miller says she will file for this special election once that writ is declared. Miller lost to Parker Selby in November by just 275 votes. New this morning, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers saying it received emergency request approval to dredge the Ocean City Inlet later this month. Work is expected to start the week of July 21st and last approximately 8 days, weather permitting. According to officials, the dredging is needed due to increased boating traffic in next month's White Marlin Open. All right, let's check out the live scene in the nation's summer capital, Rehoboth Beach. I think we see some raindrops there on the lens here as we look out into the Atlantic Ocean on this dreary Wednesday. Our First Alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey, joins us now with a look at First Alert weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. The rain is the big story this morning. Moderate to heavy rain. You look at the radar, anywhere you see yellow, orange, and red, that's very heavy rain now making its way through Sussex County, Gumboro towards Millsboro, Long Neck, Dewey Beach. Watch for flooding, especially in poor drainage areas, and that extends to areas east of Salisbury right now. We're also seeing moderate to heavy rain along the eastern shore right now, so that rain's coming down fast and furious, so take it easy out there. And we're looking at the back edge of this rain now, moving into the Chesapeake Bay, so it looks like we're in this rain for maybe another couple of hours. Then we do start to dry out as we have a cold front that's slammed on the brakes. That's why we're seeing the heavy rain right now, but high pressure to the west will start to nudge this front to the east, and we'll start to see some drying into the afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s and low 70s, so much cooler with light and variable winds. So still some rain, heavy at times through about noon or 1 p.m. And then we'll start to see some breaks in the clouds as we go into the afternoon. That will allow temperatures to rise into the 70s to around 80 inland, a little cooler at the beaches. And we continue that drying process through the evening hours. But watch for the very heavy rain the next couple of hours. Then we start to dry things out. Coming up, I'll take a look at some of those impressive rainfall totals and talk about a much nicer holiday weekend on the way a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, thank you, Bob. And here's some evidence of that intense rain we had around 9:30. This is outside our studio in Milton, and we experienced several showers like this throughout the morning. Check out this scene in Pennsylvania. This is near Lancaster. Look at what the heavy rain has done to the waters that eventually lead into the Chesapeake Bay. That area had flash flood warnings, and Tuesday was the second day this week of heavy rain in the Susquehanna Valley. That is a region that is near Harrisburg. Delaware State Police Homicide Unit is looking into the Monday death of a 37-year-old woman in Frankfort. According to state police, on Monday afternoon, troopers responded to Zion Church Road for a welfare check, and it's where they found the woman dead from a gunshot wound. Her identity is being withheld until her family is notified. Happening this afternoon, the Cool Spring Crossing development in west of Lewis is back in front of Sussex County's Planning and Zoning Commission. The developers applying for several zoning changes on 637 acres. This is for more than 1,900 units in 7 villages and different types of housing. At a previous public hearing, people we spoke with expressed concern over the size of Cool Spring development.
Our community is really upset. When I was taking our petition around, several people told me they were thinking about leaving the area because of the overdevelopment. It's just it's not what people moved here for, right?
Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission, they meet today at 3 p.m. A woman who drifted out to sea near Lewis was rescued early Tuesday night by off-duty lifeguards. North Shore's Beach Patrol Captain Kent Buxton told us that she couldn't get back into her boat and started drifting. Off-duty lifeguards heard the call and rushed to the beach and spotted her about 300 yards offshore near Cape Henlopen. 3 lifeguards swam out and brought her safely back to shore where paramedics were waiting. Drivers in Sussex County should plan for changes at a Georgetown intersection next week. DelDOT says crews will add an all-way stop at Little Hill Road and Carey's Camp Road in Georgetown. Work includes installing new stop signs and pavement markings to replace the current 2-way stop, and that work is set for Tuesday, July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Coming up, Milton land moves, the plans the town has if they finalize a land buy. CoastTV News Midday is back after this. Discussion and a possible final vote on the sale and lease of property in Milton. At a previous town council meeting, officials voted to move forward with the purchase of 6 lots downtown for $1.65 million. On your screen, we're showing you the properties on Broad, Mulberry, and Magnolia Streets. The plan is to construct a building between 25 and 26,000 square feet to house a new police station and a community meeting space. Current plans also show 60 new parking spaces off Magnolia Street.
The town has no dedicated meeting facilities, and we struggle to find places to hold our meetings, and it's just too much going on in this town to have to go through that. So we have to make choices, and this is a choice we've made.
Mayor Collier says there is room for a basketball court and also a public restroom facility. Ocean City police say they are searching for the owner of this guinea pig that we're showing you right here. According to a post on the police Facebook page, the guinea pig was found near a bush on the 500 block of the Atlantic Avenue Boardwalk. If you know who this little guy or little gal belongs to, you're asked to please contact the Ocean City Police Department. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7, the Shorebirds are looking to make it 2 in a row over the Fredericksburg Nationals, and then it's the final score at 10:30. On the DSM Plus app at 6, we have Boys and Girls High School Soccer League at DE Turf.
Our tower cam in Laurel socked in with the clouds and the rain too. 70 there right now, and we're looking at heavy rain across Sussex County. It will dry out this afternoon, but watch for heavy rain. Watch for flooding in poor drainage areas for the next couple of hours. Then that rain will wind down this afternoon. Good time to win an umbrella. That's exactly what Joe Collins from Laurel did. Congratulations to her from Paul Davis and Coast TV. Looking great for the 4th of July. We just have to get through this rain. I'll have your full forecast coming up after the break. What a difference 24 hours makes. Yesterday at this time, it was sweltering heat, temperatures in the 90s, triple digit feels like temperatures, and now lower 70s, gray, rainy with heavy rain in a lot of places. 72 in Lewis right now, and we'll see the rain here for a couple more hours, and then just cloudy, I think, as we go into the afternoon hours. Now we're looking at live radar depiction of accumulated rain. Anywhere you see blue, that's over an inch, and we've seen perhaps up to about 1.7 inches near Seaford right now. You see parts of the eastern shore also over an inch, about 1.2 near Andrews and Bucktown, and then recently across southern Sussex County into Wycomico, 1.4 inches. That's why I'm concerned about some flash flooding right now ongoing. So once again, turn around, don't drown if you get into an area where it gets pretty deep. All right, you shouldn't be driving in water that's more than 6 inches deep. And we're looking at 1.4 inches near Prime Hook Beach, and it's been a soaker. Prime Hook and Lewis, 1.7 inches. Georgetown, 8,600s. Delmar, 6,400s. Millsboro, about a half an inch of rain. And Georgetown, a third of an inch. And we continue to tack on the rain. Now, Sussex County was out of the rain really much of the morning, but now with that front getting closer, the moderate to heavy rain has moved in, and we're seeing that now from Indian Beach, Bottom Hills, Long Neck down towards Sandy Landing, Millsboro, 113. A lot of heavy rain through Frankfort, and then west of Selbyville right now. Once again, blinding rain. And then we're seeing that extending down to areas east of Salisbury now near Pittsville. So use extra caution out there. For the eastern shore, moderate to maybe some heavy rain for you, but not as heavy as it is in Sussex County right now as this big blob of rain continues to move to the east. We're seeing the back edge of it now moving across Chesapeake Bay as a cold front was starting to make its way through, but now it's pretty much slammed on the brakes just to our west. So this is a track, so to speak, for all that moisture coming up. But eventually high pressure to the west will give it a nudge, and we'll start to see this front once again resume progress to the east, and then behind it, oh, it's glorious. Lots of clear skies, and that will be our weather heading into the 4th of July. But we're about, well, 14 to 18 degrees cooler right now than we were yesterday at this time. We were in the lower 90s. Now we're pretty much in the low 70s because of the clouds and the rain. The winds are light and variable. Eventually behind that front, those winds will shift to the west. Here's Futurecast at noon, still hanging on to some of that rain, but I think by about 2 p.m. the rain should be done. I think we'll see some peaks of sun near 80 as we go into the afternoon hours. And we'll continue to clear it out and then dry it out, and then a cooler Thursday morning with 60s and low 70s, and a much better looking Thursday. Lots of sunshine. It's going to be warm, upper 80s, but the humidity levels held in check as we're seeing thunderstorms today, but they are non-severe. It's the flooding that I'm concerned about, especially in poor drainage areas. Then Thursday through the weekend, beautiful weather for the 4th of July for your outdoor activities. Lower humidity, temperatures in the 80s and 90s. And the muggy meter goes from the very humid range to humid to comfortable into the 50s as we go into the 4th. And then the humidity does creep up again a little bit into early next week. But we're looking at temperatures in the 70s to near 80 this afternoon. That heavy rain backing off, 82 in Easton, 80 in Vienna, and around Salisbury, 80 right now, and that should be the high, 80 in Chincoteague and 78 in Ocean City. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 90 on Thursday, but a much drier 90 with the lower humidity. 4th of July looking great. 87, sunshine looking good for the cookouts, the fireworks in the evening, and then I think the nice weather continues into the weekend. 86 Saturday, 88 Sunday. The humidity starting to creep up, and then Monday 89, and maybe another storm chance by Tuesday, and a high of 87.
All right, thanks, Bob. And here's what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Well, we know you're gearing up for your busy 4th of July holiday weekend plans, but hey, we're still here for you for Coast Life. Let's see what's coming up today on the show at 4. If you do still have some last-minute shopping to do for your grilling plans, we've got your one-stop shop.
Plus, we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I go to the boardwalk in Rehoboth to find out what people think the best of the nation is.
We're also going to spotlight a couple of really great programs that are easily accessible and free for the community this summer and all year long, but especially ones that are going to keep the kids moving around, work their mind, work their body, and give them a little less screen time. All of that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
You bought a video game from GameStop in the last 5 years, you might want to listen up because you may be entitled to a cash payment or credit in the settlement of a recent lawsuit. The electronics and game store giant has agreed to pay $4.5 million in a suit alleging customers' personal information was shared without consent. If customers had a public Facebook profile at the time of purchase from GameStop's website, they could be entitled to that compensation. Waffle House is dropping its 50-cent egg surcharge. The Georgia-based chain made the announcement this week. The additional fee was added in February due to the rising price of eggs. That was due to a bird flu outbreak. July is National Pickle Month, and to celebrate, drive-in fast food chain Sonic is rolling out a limited edition pickle-inspired menu. Sonic is teaming up with Grillo's Pickles for the new pickle-flavored items. Special menu includes new burgers, slush, tater tots, and fries. CoastTV News Midday returns in a moment. As people get away from their routines during the summer, fewer blood drives are held, and as Mandy Gaither shows us right now, there is a big need, and there's also a new promotion that began this week.
From surgeries to emergencies, blood can be a critical key to keeping a patient alive, but often in summer, donor turnout dips.
Even though everybody else is taking a vacation during the summer, the need for blood doesn't stop and doesn't take a vacation.
Dr. Courtney Lawrence with the American Red Cross says the organization typically reaches their lowest supply in late summer, early fall, but they're trying to prevent shortages by calling all donors to give. While all blood types are needed, type O is especially in high demand.
It used to be thought that type O negative was the only blood type that could be given to people in an emergency, but we actually know that even O positive can be given safely to about 80% of the population who needs blood.
To encourage summer blood donation, the Red Cross has teamed up with the company Gooder. All who come to give blood through the organization from July 1st through 14th will get an exclusive pair of sunglasses while supplies last.
They actually come with stickers that you can personalize with your blood type. So less than 3% of the American population chooses to donate blood every year. So if you want to show off and be part of that proud percent, you have the opportunity to do so with these sunglasses in the first half of July.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Looking pretty dreary right now in the Gutter Helmet Cam in Ocean View. We've got moderate to heavy rain across Delmarva, but that'll be ending as we go into the middle of the afternoon. We'll start to dry things out, but do watch for areas of flooding and poor drainage areas this afternoon, and then beautiful weather heading into the holiday weekend. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. I'll have your gorgeous holiday forecast in the 10-day forecast coming up next. Be extra careful out there. Still heavy rain, maybe some local flooding. The heaviest of the rain is beginning to move into southeast Sussex County, Ocean View, Frankfort, Selbyville. Probably some flash flooding for you there, and then east of Salisbury. And then we're looking at the showers to the eastern shore. The back edge of that now moving into the eastern shore. We should be totally done with this, I think, probably in the next couple of hours. Your day part forecast, just cloudy after about 2 p.m. and then maybe some glimpses of sun as we go into the evening. Paul Davis 10-day forecast looking great Thursday. 90 degrees. The 4th looking fantastic. 87. Nice into the weekend with mid to upper 80s and typical summer into next week, Matt. And maybe a few storms beginning Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thank you for being with us on Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app, and don't forget to join us tonight for Coast TV News at 5. Until then, have a great Wednesday, everybody.